Hello and welcome to another episode of The Love Experiment. I am massively interested, and to be honest, my mind is being blown by looking in the direction of the possibility that love can change anything and everything for the better, however impossible that may seem. And this series of videos is exploring that. I'm inviting you to join in with me. I'm inviting you to comment, to share what you're seeing, to share what is coming up for you after these videos. And in every video, I'm going to be reminding you of the truth of who you are and the fact that we can rely on the power behind life has got our backs and got this. So today I want to dive in and talk about, I read a quote by the lovely Anita Moorjani this morning, and the quote, I'm going to look at it just to make sure I get it right. The quote was, "Cancer was the symptom, fear was the disease." So basically what Anita was sharing, if you don't know who Anita Moorjani is, do just Google her name. She was a lady who had stage 4 cancer and made a complete recovery. And in this quote, basically what she's saying was that her cancer, the disease that she actually had, was fear, living from fear. And when she switched and completely started living from love through a huge insight that she had, that changed everything. The cancer, this was many years ago that this happened, and as far as I know, she's still with us and living and thriving. So this quote, cancer was the symptom and fear was the disease, really supports what I am finding for myself in my own exploration, which is a huge part of what this is about for me, inviting you into this exploration to find out for yourself. Taking my word for stuff is not going to be life-changing, but hearing what I'm saying, getting curious and playing for yourself, now that's a game changer. So anyway, back to the quote. So as Anita said, that cancer was the symptom, fear was the disease. And one of my things is, okay, I can see I have spent many years, and still to this day, this morning, 3 minutes ago, 3 seconds ago, I had fear within me. I'm living in a fear-based world. So what is it that I got wrong? What is it I have seen that I'm going to invite you to play with yourself? So one of the things that I saw was that this changing to live from fear, changing the paradigm that we live in from a fear-based paradigm to a love-based paradigm, and that we can do that by understanding who we are. And that the 3 principles, any spiritual teachings, there are many spiritual teachings around, and all of them point us to the truth of who we are. They point us to the fact that we are not our bodies. We are a spiritual being here having a human experience. And they point us to what that means. That means that we don't have to be afraid of the experience we're having when we're being human. We don't have to be afraid of the thoughts that arise in us that say, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're any fear-based thought. And that we have an amazing, brilliant state-of-the-art guidance system which tells us when we are believing a thought that goes against the truth of who we are. We feel it. So it's not about the details of the thought. If we try to look into what the details of the thought are, we get stuck. But if we know the feeling of what's going on, we don't even have to know what the thought is. Sometimes I feel shitty and scared and have no idea what it is I'm thinking. Can't connect that to a thought at all. Doesn't matter. The feeling is where it's at. It's where it's really important. And understanding that if what is coming through our minds, what we're talking about is if there is any kind of me, off energy, fearful, not nice energy, we know we are in a fearful paradigm. If we feel good within us, if we feel light, if we feel at peace, if we feel good, if we're having fun, if we feel joy, all of those things tell us that we are living in the paradigm of love. So I've known that for a long time. That makes total sense, and most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time I can drop my fearful thinking when I recognise it, or certainly not take it as seriously as I used to, which is a game changer. Amazing. But this was the bit that I missed, and has recently really been coming to me with clarity, and I'm really seeing this. So if I'm going to use the analogy of a fish, a fish. So a fish swims in water, but I mean, I have no idea, but this is an analogy I've heard used before. But the water is so familiar to the fish that the fish simply doesn't see it. If you ask the fish, what are you swimming around in? They would be like, oh, no idea. Am I swimming? You know, it's so known to them that they can't see it. And as human beings, we have things like that. There are things that we are swimming in, if you like, that we just have no idea. That's just what is. We don't see it because it is so familiar to us. And this being so familiar to me, I miss this. And this is the fear-based worldview that I was born into, that you were born into, that all of us have been born into. We have been born into a whole generations upon generations upon generations of human beings who came before us, who've been living in a fear-based worldview. I didn't even know that there was such a thing. I'd never heard of a worldview. I was like a goldfish who didn't even know that water was a thing. It was just there, didn't know it, just assumed it was what it was, didn't know it. So I didn't know that there was a worldview, and I didn't know that there was another possibility for a different worldview. So the worldview we have all been born into, pretty much every human being is an incredibly rare human being who lives with a worldview of love, not fear. So we've been born into a fear-based worldview, and have no idea that this is what is going on. So all of this other stuff, knowing the truth of who you are, knowing that you don't have to listen to your thinking, knowing that thought creates our reality, all of these things don't have as much of an impact if we are still, unbeknown to us, living in a fear-based worldview. A little bit like, if you take the fish analogy again, if a fish understood the waters that it lived in, it understood its environment, it understood where danger was, it understood how to get the right food, it understood everything about itself, but the actual water that it was swimming in was polluted, that fish would still be dying. And if it had no idea it was even living in water, so it didn't know to do anything about the pollution in the water, it would still slowly die in spite of all the good things that it was doing and understanding and living in the most amazing ways. And this is what I missed. I'm doing all these things, and trust me, my life has changed beyond recognition with all of those things. But still, the very water that I was swimming in was polluted. My worldview was still a fear-based worldview, because I didn't even have any idea that I had a worldview, let alone that it was a fear-based worldview. I didn't understand that, I didn't see that, and I didn't know that. Once seen, like anything, the good thing, I'm guessing the fish analogy kind of breaks down here now, because you kind of think, well, what can you do about it? If a fish is living in polluted water, it's beyond the fish's ability to do anything. The great thing with this, with looking in this direction, and what I'm sharing here and what I have seen is, we do have the ability. We are swimming in polluted water, if you like, but it is. We can, through an understanding that is what we are doing, we can change our water, change our air, change our whatever it is, change this to a love-based paradigm. We can move out of that pollution. And then what we know about the truth of who we are, and what we know, and then the air that we breathe, the water we swim in, whatever, we can clean that. So there is so much hope by looking in this direction. And that has really been, over the last weeks and months, the insights and what has been coming around this has blown my mind, and again completely changed my world. Oh, we can swap. And it definitely came about for me by deciding to get curious about, what does it mean to live from love, not fear? And then this understanding of a worldview, this is what happens. This is the guidance we have within us, and this is how we can do it. If we ask, if we seek, if we knock, it's going to be answered. We're going to find it. The questions are going to be answered. So when I set about, I had no idea when I set about doing this series of videos, and genuinely, to me, the word that I love works for me perfectly. Use your own words, change it if you like. Looking to God and asking, okay, I'm kind of seeing something around living from love, not fear. I really want to look into this, to ask questions, looking in this direction, asking these questions. This huge thing has revealed itself through insight, through wisdom, has come and shown itself. And I'm seeing it everywhere now. I'm hearing people talk about it. It's like, oh my gosh, when I didn't know it, it was completely unknown to me. Since asking these questions and looking in this direction, it's like it's opened itself up to me. So I really, really see that changing this, cleaning the water I'm swimming in, the pieces that I already knew, knowing the truth of who I am and something I'm calling my God entity, knowing that as a human being here in human form, I am a unique aspect of the divine, my God entity, living from that truth, and then understanding about cleaning the polluted air I was breathing, water I was swimming in, whatever, quantum soup, whatever you want to call it. I have the ability to clean that too. And this love experiment, this is what has really helped me to see that and to do that for myself. So in my next video, I am going to be talking more about, if you want to, I would love a comment. Would you like me to share more about the cleaning up of that and how it happens? And I also, at the time of making this video, I also have a webinar coming up that you can join us live for if you wish, or if not, you will be able to get the replay if that time has passed. So do drop a comment and I will pass on the information about that. Do look at the show notes anyway, because there are many ways that you can dive into this with me more deeply, which I'm really going to invite you into. We're doing some amazing things. But keep watching, keep asking questions, keep asking me questions, keep asking God, the universe, whatever. Look in this direction, because there is something truly beautiful, amazing, life-giving, life-changing in this direction. Have a great day, and I'm sure I will see you somewhere soon. Take care. Lots and lots of love. Bye for now.